Hello folks, well every so often Dave does a little rant or a little muse on something, and I was looking at this spider, as you do, thinking what can I learn from this spider. I looked at its web. I thought, being somebody who makes nets, I thought that web is like a net, innit? And then I thought, oh, those words seem to... I've heard them words somewhere else before. What's that to do with them? And I was looking at that spider, the way it sits there patiently. Probably in human terms, it's probably sitting there for the equivalent of years before it decides to do whatever it's going to do. It's very patient. And as I say, it goes to all this trouble to make this net, or web, as you might call it. And when the little bugs get caught in the net, it wraps them up, but it doesn't necessarily sort of suck everything out of them to start with, does it? Just leave them there. So they think, oh, I'm in this net, but I'm all right. And you think of all the people relating it to humans now, they're all sort of fly towards the net, whether they're going to use one of the whatchamacallit, whether it's just to do their emails or whether it's to do social networking, whether it look up information. The number of people that I need to go on the internet, and we like them little bugs, aren't we? Oh, flying along. Oh, I'm in the net. Oh, but I'm all right. and there's somewhere on this net. There's a big spider waiting for us lot, and he's sucking out information. He's not sucking out our innards, but it's the equivalent of, isn't it? Because the information that we impart is really what very often makes humans, isn't it? So the ideas that I put on YouTube from in my videos, that if the big spider wants to know sort of kind of whether if we did this, what would Dave do? Would Dave go, oh yeah, I agree with that, or would Dave be a dissenting voice? Do you see what I mean? They're sort of, they can understand some of what goes on up here by analysing the information that we, if you like, put on the big spider's web. And they're very patient, aren't they? And it's almost like you allow all these people to get stuck in the web, if you like, before you then decide, right, okay, there's this group over here talking about freedom, constitution. Oh, sorry, I used the F and the C word there, didn't I? But you get all these people over here. You got, the people that go, hold on a minute, you're saying we need to secure Afghanistan in order to secure Britain? Huh? What? How's that working? Oh, Al-Qaeda and Taliban might get back into Afghanistan if no, that's assuming that they ever left, but or that they were either there to leave, some of them. Not that some of it's mythical, but I won't get into that. But I mean, we're not securing the opium supply or the oil pipeline, are we? No, sorry, that's conspiracy theorist rubbish. No, I wouldn't countenance that. But now you can see how they can kind of use this. That if they put some information there, and they see how Dave will react to the information, and then they look at other people and see how they react to the information. I'm not saying that do it on an individual basis, but they got their computer systems that can scan stuff and do a statistical analysis and go, right, there's so many percentage of the people that are questioning this bit of news that we've, and it's a bit like bait, isn't it, really? They put a bit of bait out there, i.e. in the mass media, saying this news item, and then they see which fish bite, don't they? Okay, fishing there, but we can learn a lot from how fish react to. Again, you go fishing. Now, if you got something that looks like a fly on the end of your hook, right? Some fish will go for that fly, and they get hooked, and they'll be fooled into thinking that bit of feather they look like that was a particular fly what they like to eat. See? But you try that on another sort of fish, say you were sea fishing and you was trying to catch mackerel, that wouldn't work. But you put a little shiny bit of thingy on, and the mackerel will look at that and think, oh, I know what that is. Oh, and it ain't what it thinks it is. And likewise, if you go and trying to catch a different fish, you might need to put a worm on the end, or some other wriggly thing. And so by again, you can learn a lot on, depending on what bait you use, as to what fish you're going to catch. Because different fish, and it's like different people will react differently, isn't it? I mean, if you put a news item about, I don't know, some banning some particular religious item because you don't want to offend some other particular religion, then you know that some people what are anti this or anti that will get, they can't ban that, it's, why should we have our that's like putting a bit of feather to look like a fly, casting it, and I can reel all them people what they know is going to get anti this because somebody's banned them from saying or doing that because it might offend this other group. It's predictable. I know if I put, depending on what I put on the end of a fishing line, I can kind of predict what I'm going to reel in, can't I? And you can do the same. You look at all different sorts of animals and how they react, and then relate that back to the way that the powers that be can manipulate people, because people are like people are, as I say, they react differently to different things. Like some people, you could ban all religious symbols, and they go, yeah, so what? And other people will go, you can't ban that, you can't ban that. Oh, why they? If they're offended by that, then we're offended by it. So you see what I mean? Now the other people that wouldn't be wouldn't worry about if there was some ban on certain religious symbols. Now you start talking about the pop stars they worship, and they'll be, oh, you can't say that about my hero. It's the pushing the buttons. It's a bait, innit? Put the right lure on the right hook, and again, you can have, if you got to make sure that you got the right sorts of hooks and weights and stuff, because you've got to get it at the right depth and all that sort of stuff. And it's the same sort of system, innit? It's just trying to anyway. I'll say cheers for now. Just little, you know. Next time you see an animal, insect, bird, try and think. Well, that's what I do anyway. Because then you're not bored, are you? You just see what you can learn. Cheers for now.